Thanks.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, Jonathan.
Actually,
All right.
You know that name?
Hmm?
Good luck, Jonathan.
I doubt he does, though I know. Do you? Are you familiar with the name Good Luck
Are you
Jonathan?
serious? You don't know Good Luck?
See, I told you keep yourself up with current affairs, bro. You don't know Good Luck Jonathan. I'm giving you a hint. A president. Guess the country. Okay, former president. West Africa. Bro, he's not even willing.
Let's do that show. He'll look out for it after.
Guys, welcome to today's episode, one of its kind. Yeah, it's the Dog Days podcast. As usual, yep. Today we are at not our custom home, yeah, but yeah, we are being sponsored today. Yeah. So obviously,
first of many to come.
yeah. For all those watching, you know what it is. Yeah, but today we are at MEMPROW. It is a feminist organization, and like you so well know, this is a period. This is a time, that time of the year, where we are. Shout out to everybody using a purple AV, a purple DP. Yeah, it's that time of the year where we are actually trying to look out for our sisters out there, our friends out there, our mothers out there that are being subject to gender-based violence. So we thought it wise to partner with MEMPROW in the form of a sit down to discuss
Gender-based violence.
Yeah, what really should be done, what is actually going on. Yeah, so I am your daily co-host, Chelsea, aka Manso Sati, also known as the Yad Gandhi. And from my, this is my right, from my right, yeah.
Hello guys, it's Jaffa, Heavy Pop, aka Heavy Jihad the Beauty.
The Savakara. Yeah, and we have guests, and
Would like you to introduce yourself a
yeah.
little bit.
They are part of this organization, right? They're part of MEMPROW, but as you may see, they are, they are Gen Z, right? You guys are Gen
No,
Z?
we're just young people.
Yeah.
I am not a Gen Z.
You're not even better.
Well, I am.
Yeah. So we've got a mix. We've got a mix of, we've got a millennial Gen Z mix on the set today. Yeah. We are being joined by two very beautiful, eloquent, opinionated, I'm running out of superlatives. But yeah, we have been joined by them. And please introduce yourselves.
Don't let the long names we have intimidate you. Just say easy.
But if you have an intro, you can still
I
throw
was
it up.
actually wondering how I'm going to have using. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I only have two names that my parents gave me. So my name is Melody Nakalanzi. I am a peer educator at MEMPROW. I am a MEMPROW girl, a feminist organization, which in full form is mentoring and empowerment program for young women, just to do justice to the viewers so that they know who we are. Yeah, we make sure that girls are empowered in communities, make sure that girls have their needs, and anything that leads to having them have a better society.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
hello, viewers, and my name is Stella Oyungro. I work with MEMPROW in the programs department, and yeah, I am based in the field. So I sit in the NEBI office. I'm happy to be on the show today.
Nice to have you both.
Yes.
Nice to have you both. Yeah. I think before we go ahead, it is really important and nice that you guys share with us your stories as regards how you got to know this and how you got into it. Because in my head, I'm wondering, how do people my age or not far from my age get into such spaces? Because I might know a girl or two that would probably deserve to be around here, but they don't know. They are just there being keyboard warriors to, I won't call it a lost cause, but to some, I'm the one reading their statuses or their texts. How did you guys get in here and the inspiration? Where did it all start from?
Okay, I'll go first. And I think my inspiration starts from university. Around in my year one.
Where were you, Helen?
Oh, was at Makerere. I'm going to graduate from Makerere very soon. So in year 1, I see MEMPROW and I'm like, what is MEMPROW? I cannot even pronounce the word. I'm sure many people out there struggle to pronounce it as well. But it is okay once you get used to the thing and the people, it becomes easy for you to, say it. So I see MEMPROW and I have an old student. There's an old girl that we share the school, and she's the girls' lead at the university. Her name is Fiona. And she's like, Melody, I think this would be good for you to be part of. She's like, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to earn a lot from it. And she says, please come and join us for the freshers orientation for MEMPROW. And I'm like, okay, fine, I go. And the worst part is that like the previous day, I had attended a certain orientation, and I think it was for AIM Global. You guys know about that. So when she invited me, I was like, hell no, I am going to get back to this thing that is going to sort of exploit me. These guys were telling us you can sell your phone, you can do that. But Fiona is a girl that we all used to look out for when we were still at school, and she was a religious prefect. So I wouldn't expect her in that direction.
Trying to scam you.
And when I reached university, she shows me where the Catholic Church is, you know, and then she tells me, please come to MEMPROW, because she was already part of it. And I'm like, okay, I'll come and attend, because someone that I know is the one that is calling me for it. So I joined the MEMPROW team at Makerere, and then after some time, they call us for mentorship here. Yeah, we did about 3 mentorship sessions, a lot of learning. If I were to go to details, we would spend a day. And then we also had like a long workshop for about 3 days. These guys were with us and they were teaching us things like every day about how you can take care of yourself, how you can make sure other people around you are safe, and everything that relates to well-being. And that is how I joined MEMPROW. And it has been a very good place to be ever since.
Yeah. And how did you get into this? And actually, now for you, the fact that you're even in the field in an area like maybe, how did it?
I'm just here trying to recollect my memory, and maybe for starters, I've been with MEMPROW for over 8 years.
What was that 8 years ago?
I've been with MEMPROW for that long, and yeah, it's been a journey, and I think I've done most of my career. It has been like the greatest, like the organization that has built me into this career life. And like we all know, in our education system, you can study something completely different and go and practice something else.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I was able to settle in here, but also it's because when I joined MEMPROW, I think I loved the kind of work they were doing, and I felt like this is home and this is where maybe I need to practice my career in. Let me take you back. Maybe, I think after university, I graduated in 2013.
Wow.
I don't know where
you've actually done this for a while.
Yeah.
2013, I must have been.
So after that, I think I joined the radio. Meanwhile, I did accounting and finance.
Wow.
Yes. So I went and I was working on the radio as a presenter at some point, and then I read news. I did news reporting in a local radio station in Nebi. So after that, I joined the CBO, and as the accountant, I felt like, okay, now I need to get back to what I studied. So I studied accounting and finance, as I said earlier. So I went and I was the accounts assistant for like a year on a project, and then I moved to the bank. So I did the bank work up to like a whole year. Unfortunately, that the bank where I was working had they had to close the branch. I was in Zumbo. So that meant that we had to move to other places to work, to other branches to work. So that is when I think I was sent to Elego, and I felt like, I cannot go to Elego. Maybe instead of going to Elego, maybe I need to find another job. So I left work. I went back and I tried doing business. I did business a bit, like for a whole year before MEMPROW came in. And actually MEMPROW came in at a point when I felt like I was giving up on like looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Yes. My focus was trying to shift, but also not forgetting that whole year, the business I was trying to do as like doing mainly jewelry, as making jewelry, selling to people, basically that is it. And as of course having like a baby's shop, I was selling babies things.
Wow.
Yeah, I was helping my mom run a family business. So when I got a call from MEMPROW, I was like, maybe I need to try. So of course we were interviewed and I was lucky to be taken on. And I remember at that point, I was sent to Pakwach. That was like my first office. I went to Pakwach and I was working on a child mothers project, which was on, we were just doing a lot of mentorship work around with girls who had been sexually violated. And some of them had dropped out of school, others were still at school. Of course, we did a lot of trainings for them to see how to uplift them from their current situations. And at that point, working with them, that journey helped me actually like start realigning on what I wanted. As at that point, I started doing like social works. I was doing something completely now different from what I had studied. And I felt like it was fun just talking to young people, seeing how inquisitive they are, how they want to learn, how they want to move on from where they are. Much as they had been violated, like there was still like a lot ahead of them. So I decided as like, okay, I think this is what I think I need to focus on. And yeah, ever since up to now. Yeah.
Wow, that's
been
beautiful.
Long.
You guys,
journey.
Yeah, you guys are such a pair of hands then, because initially, you know, like when these opportunities come up in your head, you're thinking, I think we're going to sit down with people that might be as much exposed as us. But you guys have actually done this for a while, because starting from your first year, then that must be like 3 years ago, right? 4 years ago, 8 years ago. Wow, it's actually excited for this.
Though, what was the major draw point? Like, why did you join? What was the pull factor for you to join MEMPROW?
Okay. I think my pulling factor is just simple. I come from a district that is still struggling, but people don't think is struggling. I'm from Western Uganda, though my name is Nakalanzi.
I've been questioning.
Yeah. Many people question, but well, I'm from Western Uganda, and it's unfortunate that people think in Western Uganda things are okay. It's unfortunate that most of them think because the president comes from our place, it means we have good roads, it means women know everything, it means that girls go to school. And I was like, I think that is not true, because I am from there and I also struggled to get to school. I struggled to get to Makere. And in my mind, I'm like, I think being part of such an organization, regarding the situation that I went through as an individual to get to where I am, and as a girl, all those ups and downs, I'm like, okay, I think being part of such an organization would help me as a person, but also the people that are back there at home. I think the only thing that I've been able to do is join Fiona in her outreach that we did for the girls in our district. Like we did a school outreach, and I'm like, it's not right that only people in Karamoja are suffering, but also at around year 2, I was able to move at least every part of the country.
Wow.
And I was like, guys, there's a lot of things that are happening outside there. Kids are suffering, kids are struggling. So I am like, I do debate training, coaching, and I do debate myself. So that time I was judging debates, and I was working with a certain organization, and we had to move the whole country because we're doing regional debates. And I'm like, really, you have gone to judge a debate, you have left Kampala, and you're saying we need to reach here by this time, do the work, and leave the next day. But even the kids that are supposed to host you in their school are not there because they cannot access the venue of the school that they are supposed to have that competition at. And I'm like, even when we are doing these debates, it's not just about us being there and having these kids just have the competition, but is there something that they can even learn from these competitions? Like, I just had to think out of it and say that if I go to MEMPROW, I'll be able to make sure that these kids and their parents understand. Every time I'm doing a mentorship session, I think about, is this girl able to communicate openly with the people around her? If her parent wakes up and tells her that you need to go and fetch water in the morning, does she have the right to wake up and say that, Mommy, I think I am supposed to be at school at 8. Can I go to school and fetch the water at 5 when I come back? And if she comes back at 5 and the place is not safe, can she openly communicate with the parents and tell them that I think I cannot go to fetch this water because it's dangerous out there. Because if you notice, most kids that are suffering, the way I saw how our societies were, I noticed they suffer because they do not like know how to communicate
Yeah,
with the
that
people
there is no
around them.
rapport with
Yes,
the other person.
there is that African thing that our parents still hold,
Don't
and
talk back.
all of you will agree with me. I
Yeah.
think if you have parents, they will be like, I am the father, I am the mother. You cannot speak back. You cannot, we don't have that open conversation. I think I'm one person that cannot even openly have an open conversation with my dad up to now. You see how we like have kids play with their dads on compound? I didn't have that as a child. And I think that is very problematic, that other kids in the coming generation should not face that. Because most things that they are going to suffer, if you have had issues of like a dad rapes their kid, I think it's because the dad doesn't even know that this is their child. I didn't face that trauma. But there are kids that are going through that. But I think if it were a normal relationship that has communication in it, it would be a very much better place for this kid to like live and
Be nurtured,
yeah.
Wow. Do you have, because now with the gap, with the magnitude of theirs, do you have a clear drawing point for you that pulled you out and you're like, yeah, this is it?
Yes. I'll actually, for me, what motivated me most on this journey was also for me to be like a role model. I'm somebody also who comes from that same town. I'm from Nebe, born and raised in that same town. But many times we have this perception of kids here cannot make it. Yeah, the education system is poor.
Yeah, there's no way you're going
The
beyond,
parents cannot afford. And yet, there's so much actually the parents can do to support these kids to keep in school and also complete their education. I'll give an example of a community where we work in. You'll find the parents saying, in our village, the kids here cannot complete P7 because if they go to higher education, they'll bewitch them.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So we would all rather be at the same level. And you're just wondering. So I remember us asking one time, asking some parent, like, do you know me? I'm also like Analul from the same village. So how come for me, I was able to actually go through the same
And
school
I was not bewitched.
and I was not bewitched, and now I am working in the same community. And for me, that is something I give credit to MEMPROW on, because they've tried to use the same like people who are from the same communities to engage with them. One, because they know we understand our community better, but also for us also to be like
You
role
provide
models.
better inspiration
Yes,
to the people that
for
are
us to
watching you.
provide inspiration for those girls, because those young girls actually, some of them know our families as well, and some of them are from our villages. But of course, that doesn't stop them from experiencing some of the violences that they're experiencing, and also experience maybe some of the challenges that they face that make them actually drop out of school. So for me, this is this was like my motivator to see how we can have conversations with these communities and also engage with maybe the leaders in the community, and we see how better we can elevate from the point where we are at, the belief we have now, and we move forward. But also, like, another motivator is, you see, when you're in this space, like, MEMPROW loves to see people grow. So if they found you in space A today, tomorrow they wouldn't want to find you in the same space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Need to...
And like, yeah, that is how some of us have been able to do our masters, because like every year, like, they ask you, so what is your target? What goals do you have for next year? Like, yes, they want to see, and someone will, like, we have accountability partners, but also when we continue to engage with the young people, we tell them there are a lot of opportunities out there. Yeah. So if you are open-minded and willing to learn, there's so much you can do when you're in this space, both when you're in as a staff or as a MEMPROW girl, just like the way she has mentioned. We've done a lot of work with them.
That's really mind-blowing. The fact that they can even push you and put you at a certain level they did not find you at is growth fostering. So we want to talk about gender-based violence today. And I think before we step into it, maybe you guys should share with us, because now at least you're a
More
perfect pair
informed.
of hands for this question. I've always wanted to ask someone this. What are, as individuals, what are your key misconceptions you have realized people have about gender-based violence? Because I believe we all, I don't want to say there is no one in the audience watching this that does not understand what this is about, but for the most part, that's what it is. Once you've clicked, then you're concerned.
Okay.
But having that, because there are misconceptions we have always. So what do you people identify as key misconceptions?
I'll go first. So some of the key misconceptions we have around gender-based violence, mainly people think that it only happens to women. That is one. But like you said, it's gender-based violence. So it's any form of violence that can happen to anyone.
Either gender.
Yeah, anyone. It can either be male or female.
Male or
It can
female.
happen to any of them. That is one of the misconceptions. But also, some people think that actually the people around you cannot violate you. That's another misconception, which is not true, because actually majority perpetrators actually know the victims very, very well. And because they know them, that is why they manipulate them, because they know their weak points. That's how they easily violate them. So they believe that people around, like people you know, may not violate you, which is not true. That is how we get people in the same family violating, like young girls or even young boys in the same home. And of course, go ahead to threaten them. Please do not speak about it. And that's why we have like very many kids without fathers. And of course, there are those cases which just go quiet because the perpetrator actually asks the victim not to say anything.
They have the power to stand for the other person.
They use a lot of power. There's a lot of power dynamics around it. So, yeah. That's what I will say for now.
Okay.
Okay, so a few things just to add on what she said. I think the most important thing, the misconceptions that we have in our society, is basically that men don't suffer gender-based violence. But I think the word gender puts it that male and female. But the fact that people just reason it out that it is female, okay, we understand they are the biggest victims or highest number of victims, but currently men are also suffering so highly. But then number two, the issue of like people close to you cannot sexually or cause that kind of violence to you is also a myth. We have pedophiles, we have everything related to that your own dad can sleep with, you know.
Yeah.
But also we have things like that actually women perpetuate violence. That because I'm dressed indecently, then that I am provoking someone to, you know, come and maybe rape you or something like that. Also, there is this thing of like, if someone does not fight back, then it means they were not sexually assaulted. You get it?
Consent.
Or that was
yes,
consent.
or that was consent.
Yes.
But maybe the person didn't have the energy to fight back, you know, and things of the sort. Maybe I'll be adding more later.
Just okay. If you guys are not comfortable answering this question, you can let it pass. But I just want to ask it. Have any of you been victims of GBV in any form or shape?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's good ground. We can carry on here. You can study that.
So we were looking at it because throughout the conversation, you people have mentioned how society, families, and all of these different things have been contributing factors to gender-based violence. So I wanted to first dissect one by one. Our key points were families, institutions, and, for lack of a better word, male mindset. Yes. So in families, we have come to the conclusion that people who go into practice
The perpetrators
in gender-based violence are more of the people that we find ourselves in common to. I've had very many stories from friends who got violated by uncles, relatives, and whatnot. What has MEMPROW done to sort of bring that into light?
Okay. What MEMPROW has done regarding that, like earlier I mentioned, I'm doing a program in line with that. Actually, the program I'm doing is on ending child marriage and early union. And our greatest beneficiaries are like victims of sexual violence. So what we've done in that line is to advocate for safe homes. So we have programs where we run engagements with parents and other stakeholders around girls who are at risk of being violated. Of course, when we talk about girls, maybe we are talking of 17 below, 18 below. So those are like school going. We engage with our teachers as well. We do trainings for them to see how we can create safe environment for the girls to stay in school. And we have programs for boys as well, where we do trainings for them to see how they can support the girls stay in school, or if they can protect the girls actually in the event that they are at risk of being violated or abused and in their presence or they had or something. So we have different programs that respond to that. But also we've been able to engage like with police, because as we all understand that once someone has been violated, the case is not supposed to be negotiated at home. So we know that they are key stakeholder if they have to support these victims. So we engage with police to see how better they can handle these cases, but also support these victims go through and to receive justice at the end, and the perpetrators are put to book. So yeah, that's basically what we do.
The thing I really have about the family thing is it happens, and very many girls' stories of GBV from the angle of sexual abuse come from within the family.
Yes.
But the funny bit is, okay, not funny per se, but for lack of a more perfect word, is you find that someone will hesitate to actually speak up because they know they are probably going to create a scene. So they are going to keep quiet. Now, in my mind, I'm always thinking, that is rational. You do not want to be the one turning the party into a mess,
bringing chaos
but then
to the family.
You're now carrying trauma on your back forever. I know someone that struggles with hugging males because their uncle touched them a certain way at a meeting when they were kids. And this person does not engage in any form of expressing affection that involves
Hugging.
body to body. No, shake my hand, that's good enough. What always bothers me is, how are you going to foster healing within these people that have already been battered by the family system? Like, how are they going to even make it out? Because they are now gone. Because with abuse, this might come off wrong, but it's like crime. It's part of society.
Yeah.
Society is not functional without those people. How do you approach these men and be like, don't do this? There might be a way. But now, how do you teach these girls to inform people that they are supposed to, or make sure that this cannot happen again, or this does not happen?
So that takes us back to societal beliefs. So so usually she's like scared of what will other people say, like just like the way you've been saying, what will other people say about it? And of course she can confide in someone. It could be her mother, but the mother can wake up to say, do you want to spoil my marriage? Do you want to spoil my marriage? Keep quiet, we should not hear this out. But forgetting the fact that every time you do that, like, you're pulling your child down. When your child opens up to tell you something, a case of abuse or violence, like that, like they have been violated, and you don't give them the listening ear or act on it, it's like you have like cut them completely from trusting you. Like, trusting you again the next time to tell you what is happening to them. It's like that was, and it's like you've opened way for the perpetrator to actually abuse them more. So how MEMPROW has come in to support such cases is we've had a lot of engagements with men, and because it involves a norm which everyone really protects, we've been able to work with like the cultural institution. If we are in a home and a conversation is going, are we going to create space to also listen to the females? And I want to give credit to our king, Ruth, the king of Alur Kingdom, Ruth Obemo. He has been consistently like promoting good cultural practices that promote a safe environment for all women and girls, which includes promoting education. By the way, people think that when you have conversations don't work, but a lot comes out of conversations. They say usually that even the hardest person, if you have time and approach them well and have conversations with them in their most sober mind, they will definitely give you a listening ear and see how to act on it. It's just like if a girl says that my father, every time I ask for a book from my father, he shouts at me. If a girl came and asked me that, me being a community person, someone who works in the community, I always ask them, okay, at what time do you ask for that book, maybe? Because the truth is, most fathers are, like Melody said earlier, like most girls and most kids are actually not free. They don't have the level of being free with their parents to ask for certain things, because that is how some families have groomed kids. Like the parents will be the other side, the kids are this side. Yes. So it could be that this man is actually maybe a drunkard. It's so bad that for me in my community, by the way, many times the majority men who do not wake up to go to office will wake up, go sit on the roadside, chill, return in the evening when they're drunk. They've not left anything in the home. The woman is supposed to fend.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she also has no job. She's supposed to fend for the family and provide every other necessity for the children. So at what point do you sit down with your children as a family to have conversations? So he returns late in the night, but also drunk. He didn't leave anything. He's coming drunk. And his child was just for not having some school dues and is waiting to ask him. Remember, he's already drunk. Okay? So such a person will definitely not hear. Of course, they have that defense already. They've not provided the whole day. They didn't leave food. And so that is how sometimes violence starts. But having conversations and creating spaces where...
Are you trying to say the violence comes from points of frustration?
Yeah.
Yes.
Many times, poverty and frustration. The poverty may be there, but also when we've seen that families that come and work together, like the man and the woman, they may not really be like educated that they're having formal jobs, but if they sit and plan as a family with their kids, like we always say, family meetings. If we can reflect, I cannot count how many families still hold family meetings with their kids. Of like everyone has to give their opinion on what is going on around them and how they can support each other, grow together in the family. So if they sit down and like have reflections and work together, the results are always so much different compared to when a man is just trying to be up there. I am the man, the head of the family. I must do A, B, C, D, and with just orders. So because the women are willing to support, and that is how they are always the ones like all over the place ensuring, even when the children are sick, they're doing like most of the caretaking work. Yeah.
Melody, do you have anything?
Okay, I think your question was basically in the direction of how MEMPROW has been able to help these girls that are already victims, already going through
mine
trauma.
particularly was much more leaning towards how do you get the girls that, like she had gone about it, how do you get the girls that have been subject to it to actually communicate, to actually stand up, like you said, maybe like, when do you ask your dad for this? Something that's like. So that's my major concern, because someone has actually ever told me that they had this abuser call them, apologize, and then go against their apology by saying, but I wish it happened. But this is because they were family. You get? Whole time she did not mention it to anyone because she knew she would be hurting everyone around her and causing chaos.
Okay.
So how would you get that sort of person to
come out?
go about her issue? Because right at that point when she told me what she told me, she was nursing a certain trauma. So how do you get that person to break that husk and walk out of it?
I think what MEMPROW does, I'm speaking from the point of MEMPROW, not as a
but you could also share as an individual
so
because you make
the most important thing that MEMPROW has done or has equipped most of us with. I think Stella will also tell you that she was she was a MEMPROW girl before. So usually MEMPROW calls us at least every month. And we're here seated as girls just having conversation. Just like the way you would sit with Jonathan. And you guys are just having normal jazz. Like you're talking about things and you're free with him. So MEMPROW creates, you see this room? This is where we usually sit. It has created for us this room that every time we come, we don't even think about office. We don't think about anyone in office.
So
you see how I
find a girl space.
Yes.
Wow.
So this is like a girl space that we just come and sit, have conversation and talk about things that really affect us. When I just came and sat here. I didn't go to office to look for Sharon because this is what I think is where
the therapy
yes.
is.
Like every time you sit, listen to this person, listen to the other person, and then you have like an interaction between the 10 or the 15 of you. It makes it feel comfortable. The time you decide to keep quiet about something, it is too bothering that you're going to die with it. Because today you're struggling with gender-based violence, the next day you're struggling with poverty, the next day you're broke at campus, the next day you don't have food. You see, like it's a lot of things piling. But at a time when you talk about something, it becomes easy for you to overcome it. But also, maybe like on a broader scope, we have like peer sessions with girls in high school, but also the boys. We like want to see what are girls going through. Because usually we like have sessions with the whole class, but we're very open to having like a one-on-one conversation with these girls. The fact that I've had maybe a certain sort of training with MEMPROW, it makes me a better person to help this girl that is already struggling, that is already going through a certain trauma somewhere. So that is what MEMPROW basically gives us, that you feel like this girl that is struggling with this is a sister to me. How would I help her? Like if I were the one in that situation, how would I do to make sure that she's actually a better person or she gets out of it? Yeah. But also, these guys give us like a professional point of view. If we are here as girls and it is the 15 of us, sometimes when I look at Jonathan, I might say, this guy is struggling with something because maybe we have met many times and I know what his mood looks like. I know what his attitude is. So the next time I meet, I'm like, Jonathan doesn't look like the way he should be or the way he usually does. So we have a team that comes and actually talks to you because even the staff here, they're like MEMPROW girls. We sit with them and just have like normal jazz. It's like normal jazz. Not even, if you say conversation, it might look so professional, but it's like a chat. You just sit with them, they talk to you, and by the 30 minutes, you're really good to go. Yeah.
Wow.
And maybe to add on that, on part of what MEMPROW does, so like we are MEMPROW girls. So part of the MEMPROW girls are upcountry as well. And the same thing she's saying is the same thing that happens outside. But also we've come up with like, there are community women whom MEMPROW equips with information and knowledge on psychosocial support. So we call them like women advisors. So they usually engage with like girls who are facing cases of like girls who are at risk of being abused or girls who have been abused, so that in the event that that girl cannot open up to their family member, they can actually entrust
have a support system.
Yeah, they
somewhere.
still have a support system away from there, and then that person is supposed to now go back and follow up on that with other family members in the community, in the family. Yeah. So we have that support system. Of course, the CDOs are part of it, but that has been helpful.
That is okay.
But even the teachers themselves, like the teachers we've trained, we've had training on trauma and sensitive approaches. So that training actually has helped a lot because the teachers are able to support girls who are at school. If a girl like has a challenge, if they are noticing that, okay, today Stella has come late and she's not happy in class, what is it that is
have.
bothering her. What
Yeah.
is it that might have happened from home? Has she always been coming late or what? So having that conversation helps a lot. And that is how most of these girls are being helped in the community. The teachers and the other people, the stakeholders around them who MEMPROW has had a chance to train.
To get it a bit further rolling, yes. We'll have a conversation with him earlier, talking about how institutions have sort of perpetuated or have let it happen around, right? So I want to ask a point of view from you who was in institutions of higher education earlier. I believe we've all gone through school, primary, and all of those things, and I'm not sure because by then I wasn't conscious enough to notice whether these things were actually transpiring because high school. I think I've only gotten to a point where I acknowledge these things like in A-level and possibly campus. So you as who was in those institutions that were prior, the ones that were earlier on, were these institutions as well facilitating gender-based violence or sexual harassment in some sort of manner? So I'm trying to draw this from the roots prior our time. Like back then, were these things actually a thing? Because I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like we have got to know of gender-based violence, I think in 2015. I think that's where things like mental health awareness and all of these other...
2015? P7?
I don't know, man.
You were a lot in P7. Nice guy.
Okay.
But I think from way back, these things were happening, but we just didn't know they were happening because of the conscience that we were
I
still
recall
young to
in my
understand.
form 3 I had a commerce teacher and he was just making fun of it. Thigh power.
You see,
As in-
I think we were too young to understand what was happening because most of us were like 12 years at P7, honestly. I think I was in P7 in 2014 and I was very short, very small. So I really don't think I was understanding a lot. But I think by the time I like got to around senior 3, I think I saw teachers dating students. But because I was still young and short and, you know, I was not a victim of that then. But I am sure those things happened, just that I didn't pay attention to them. Maybe at around A-level is when I started
to like pick up on
yes,
these
pick
things
up and
that
I'm
are
like,
going
okay,
on.
this is happening. These guys are doing this. This girl is always with this teacher. These guys are in the lab every time.
This
They're in
is-
this car room and I'm like,
I have a small question that might be off the rails. But in the event that that teacher that was trying to
to date that
date
guy.
that girl eventually attempts to marry that girl, do you find a problem with that? How
Definitely.
about considering
There
the
is
fact
a
that it
problem.
was
There is a
genuine?
big
There is
problem.
a very big problem. Here is, that girl was in school, right?
Yeah.
She was supposed to be studying. And this teacher was maybe 26. This kid was not even 18 maybe. I think most of us, if you did good education, you finished senior 6 at 18.
18.
Yeah.
Me, I finished at 18.
Yeah, first we finished
I
at
made-
19. Thanks.
Yeah,
to
which
COVID.
is actually okay because it means you made 19 when you were like joining university or just finished, you know. So this kid was still young. This kid was below 18. So if we go to like the law and things like that, this kid was still under non-consensual age. But also, you found this kid at their worst. It was their vulnerable state.
Mentally, yeah.
Yes, mentally. They were a young kid, and
They
maybe
don't
they
even understand what
personally,
they
I
are
was
doing.
I was in a single school, and maybe this girl just buys into the teacher asking out on her because there's no other person that is asking out, you know, things like that. So getting to this girl when she's at university is okay because at that point she has the power to say no or yes to you. She is not looking at it as a power relationship because at the other point the guy is 26, you're 17. It means the girl most likely says yes to you because you are a teacher, but also you're older than her.
Yeah.
But at this point, you're 21. It means
power
you have the
dynamics.
power to say yes or no to this teacher, which was totally different the other side. So if they reach a point of marriage, we would want to first ask, where did this start from? Did they start when the kid was 15?
When you had a
Or
bit more
when-
sense.
Exactly.
Also, if
Or
the
maybe-
person was about 18, it's more sensible because they cannot make
It's
some
more
decisions for
sensible
them. So
only at a time when this kid is out of school. Because remember when they are still at like senior 6, they're still under their parents. But at university, you're still under your parents, but you have like a little bit of freedom on your end. that you
Just
can
you.
decide for yourself. Right now, you could be dating, but maybe you haven't told your parents who you're dating,
Have you?
and it is okay. Jonathan, are you dating?
Have you
Or
spoken?
have you told your parents that you're dating?
Have you?
No.
We are
I
letting
don't
you know that.
He's even scared.
Eh,
Yeah,
the truth is, he is.
but do the
Let me
parents know?
explain myself. Let me explain myself.
Okay. So the important part is that was this girl at a point when she would make the decision herself, or if she was not able to make the decision herself, did you ask the right people that are supposed to make the decision for her? Did you ask the parents, or did you ask the teacher to make sure that you can go on with the relationship and continue and marry this
It
girl?
is even wrong for parents to consent
For
for her to go into a relationship or go into a marriage.
Yes, especially if it is at a young age.
Yeah.
Even if it's old age, I don't
Okay,
think parents
sorry.
should still have the right to.
The good thing, we are all versed in current affairs.
Mhm.
So I want us to leave that there. I'm going to somehow drive it there. I'm going to somehow drive it there. So you see this thing of institutions and GBV in and of itself sometimes involves provocation of sorts. There are instances in university where you hear that a girl and a certain lecturer are seeing themselves a certain way. So when you study the small signs in the air, maybe during the lecture, on the papers that come back, coursework and tests, like, this sister is okay. Then you eventually, when you try to get those backdoor stories, her friends and whatnot, they tell you
These
she
guys are going on.
went to this person, and they might defend her that she went willingly with good intent. Then the dude convinced her. I'm using convinced from my own bag of words, not from the stories I've had. Why am I saying convincing? Excuse me. You find that the lecturer told her, how about you come out with me over the weekend? Let's go to such and such a place. And because the girl is excited, she's going to quickly pack her things, get her lip gloss on, work on her eyelashes, and she's outside with a man. Does it still count as gender-based violence if you're outside with someone that asked you out just on basing on the academic grounds? You went maybe to ask for something in the lecture room, in the lecturer's office, and now the conversation has been translated into
Then if
something
it has
else.
to do with an academic background, then it is. Unless you guys, because it's what I was actually talking about, and it goes back to like a power dynamic relationship. That you went to this guy's office and he most likely told you that if you want to get 80, let's go out together. But if it was from a point of view that I met this guy, maybe I was at a club, I met him, I don't know, he's a lecturer at Makerere, and that's very open.
And sometimes the assumption is that just because they saw me with a lecturer out there, like I woke up, dressed up. I was smiling when you mentioned you dress up, put eyelashes. I'm like, oh my God. So it's just an assumption that is what I did to go and impress the person.
Yes.
But it could even be a coincidence that actually we met. I was already like that.
I was maybe like
even
looking
it was
for
just
my marks or something, and this guy.
Maybe even I was not looking for my marks. Maybe I even just said hello, and people are concluding. And maybe I actually read hard and passed that particular test.
And the guy uses the advantage of you being a bright kid.
But also, we are not ruling out that these things are not happening, because I've had a case whereby a girl went and asked for her marks, and the lecturer asked her to go to his office. She followed up for a whole year and didn't graduate in her year. And of course, that takes us back to the previous conversation we've had. Like, you as a girl, you as a child in that home, how close are you with your parents to be able to open up if something like this is happening? The truth is, paying tuition is not easy. And every student or girl or boy out there at school is so scared to death to do a retake or miss a graduation. Am I lying? We've
No,
all been.
no.
Graduating with your people is kind
I
of...
know, like,
Exactly.
you don't have
Like, how
someone
are they
take
going to see
pictures.
that I have? How are they going to see that for me I didn't graduate? Luckily enough, this particular girl had that relationship with her parents. So she walked this journey with her, and she told me she was a firstborn in the family. It was not an easy journey because it was like, oh my God, I've already told my siblings already know I'm completing school, and they know I must graduate. I'm the first. I cannot disappoint them. Do you know what that would have meant for her?
Too much pressure.
There was so much pressure in that. If she didn't have that relationship with her parents to keep them informed and for them to encourage her and tell her, please do not give in, please do not give in, you can always graduate, that meant she would have given in and she would have been violated, definitely, because it would not be out of what she wants, but
she
because she
Because of
fears
necessity.
to miss,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
the situation around it would have pushed her to be abused. And that takes us back to the power dynamics that these people actually hold on the people who they violate. So most times these people know you too well and they want to use the chance that they have to manipulate you and see how they can get whatever they want out of you. So they end up abusing you in that regard.
But I also think the fact that you are talking about something to do with institution, I think when something like that happens, we need to find out these institutions that do safeguarding, how good are they to protect these girls
Yeah.
or boys that are facing these things? If you go to Bakere, there is like a safeguarding policy and things like that, like a school of gender has those things. But we want to first find out, are girls like open to go and talk about things that affect them? A boy is going to go and say that I think this female teacher is saying that I do this before she gives me my marks to graduate. Like, I think even when institutions...
Boy is your wedding.
I don't know if they willingly do that or not. But at a time when a 70-year-old approaches you, I'm sure you would pull
But
back.
we're having a conversation here, by the way, before the shoot, and we're conflicting about it. And for me, I'm really leaning towards the angle of when those things happen to young men, to boys, it is not consent comes from hormonal reaction. Once someone's reactant, the body is
But they were
reacting a certain way,
They were induced.
they were convinced.
But they were induced by something. At a time when the 70-year-old comes to you and you're not willing, but they induce it, it means they have...
To like
I
take
don't
a-
know, I'm not a man, but that's what I think.
to like take a tangent in this, yes? But still, because the commission is mentioning earlier, we were trying to figure out if the girl, not to pull it down a peg in high school, right? If it's the girl that is in approach, or I don't know if pursuits can be the right word to use, but is the one instigating.
It's the female teacher, right?
A
No,
female student.
that-
No, if it's the girl that's trying to instigate towards
to the male teacher.
Is that based on assumption?
No, because Duke's high school, I had friends who had done these things. Okay, most of my friends are female.
I know your friends.
Keep quiet. Keep quiet. I'm not yourself. But like, they'd get into these conversations and whereby this girl would say that the best way to survive in anywhere is to always date someone who's up there, right? And these girls would go on to instigate these sort of flirtatious behaviors with these teachers by then. And this and this, and eventually the man would succumb. I'm not saying it's standard, that's how we are, men, no. But I'm just saying,
That
eventually,
is how we are.
eventually, the
Let's be
teacher would
honest.
succumb and they would partake in that given relationship.
Simple response to that. As a man that is a teacher, that is 27 or 30 years old, you're getting pursued by...
adult.
Yes, you're
An
getting
adult.
pursued by a 17-year-old. What are you supposed to do? Say yes to her and sleep with her?
With
You're
your
supposed to-
conscious mind.
You're supposed to create your own boundaries, use those schools and regulations that maybe whoever gave you, whether HM or something, and try to protect your job and protect this girl.
But you
Simple.
people, do you understand temptation?
You're supposed to get out of that whatever temptation that is
That
there
is-
because you're trying to protect yourself,
By the way,
your
this
job, and this young girl.
this whole thing is just a mind game.
Yeah, because the girl has played on you to make sure that you accept, but you still have the conscience as a girl, as a man, to say that I cannot fall for this trap, because remember the consequences are there.
So by all means,
And
you're
they are
being
so bad.
manipulated
Yes.
by the girl.
Yes, because this girl is young. They're going to hold you whenever something happens. You're the
You
adult in
will pay
that
for
situation.
it. You
You're
will
the
pay
adult.
for it.
You have the power. You are the teacher. You are the male. You are older than her. It's you that is going to be held accountable. Yeah.
Some other tangent as well.
Yeah, so another thing in regard to what MEMPROW has been doing is, I told you earlier that we engage with teachers. So we've had, upcountry. Earlier she mentioned that here by you two also agreed. I can relate or not relate at all. That for us upcountry, actually at 18, you can find me still in my cappy 4,
Yes.
5, and it's normal. Not even 19, not even 20 years, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
In my full form. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we've had a case whereby a teacher would enter class and be like, "You, what are you still doing here? You don't even understand. You look at her with her breast. You go and get married."
Hey.
Yes.
Yes.
And that was like consistently happening, but thankfully it came out. The girl, it was in one of the schools where we had already been having conversations with the girls and the teachers as well. And the teacher, at least one of the teachers we engaged with, was able to take it on and have a conversation with this teacher, because it was so bad in that we feared the girl was going to drop out. So it's actually that teacher who reported back to MEMPROW and told us that this and this was happening, but I had to have a conversation with this male teacher because it was getting too much on the girl. I got to learn of it, and then I had a conversation with him because I felt like the girl was going to drop out eventually. Because imagine if every day the best thing you wake up to and sit in class is
to get reminded of your
how you have big breasts and how you need to get a man and get married. Definitely, that can push you to leave out of school without even it demoralizes.
Yeah, it's like.
But also, I think these teachers or whatever people that are older than us and are responsible for us need to be reminded of maybe like professionalism, because I think what our courses teach us, there is that ethical.
Yeah, the ethical bit of everything.
Everyone has the ethics that they are supposed to follow in their profession.
Ethical code of conduct.
And I'm sure safeguarding is everywhere.
Yeah.
So if your course does not have safeguarding, then I do not know what they are studying. But every course should have safeguarding and make sure that whichever people you're trying to work with are protected. So if you're a teacher and you're working with kids, you know that is the most vulnerable group in society. And you're saying such things, then it becomes so bad. And I think maybe that should be like a legal issue or a legal matter that people should come and take on immediately. You either get your license revoked or something like that. Yeah.
I think also it's important to, I always say it in the most simple way, be able to catch yourself. If this was my daughter experiencing this, how would I feel as a parent?
Feel about it, yeah.
And for me, I always say that all of us are potential perpetrators of violence. At any point, all of us, we are no exceptions. And we can also be victims
all potential
at the same
abusers
time.
and potential victims.
So what that means is, at what point are you able to catch yourself and remind you, are you able, you as an individual, are you able to use your subconscious mind to always remind yourself that what I am doing is not right? So if you're able to remind yourself and ask yourself that question, it helps a lot, because then you're able to tell that if this was my daughter, I would not be happy with it. Then I need to see how to protect her and make sure that she's safe. If this was my sister, if this was my brother, this would not be the rightful thing for them to experience. So, yeah, also considering the fact that we cannot exist in silos. Like we all need each other.
Yeah.
But for us to do, then we need to support each other to grow. And how we are able to do that is for us to always keep reminding ourselves to keep a safe environment. Because they say some people don't consider words as being violent, but yeah, there's that emotional abuse that comes with words. They usually say the tongue is very powerful. And yeah, always be reminded that whatever you say sticks in the mind. And the moment you've let it out, taking it back becomes like
impossible.
Impossible.
Yes.
Before we get into the next bit, whenever you guys go to the field, do you do boys also step up and talk about them being violated sexually?
That's rare.
Mm.
Very rare. Very few boys can
Because
come out to
boys
say
rarely
that.
get sexually
No,
abused.
no,
Yeah, I'm still
no.
against it.
But
No,
that's why-
they actually
that's why
are.
don't-
They're
don't to get
actually
somewhere.
getting abused,
Mm.
but a few of them come out to say that I've been sexually abused in this and this way.
Mm.
Because maybe society has made it look like men are supposed to be strong, men are supposed to, to live with the pain. If you don't do it, you're going to be seen as a weak person.
Society again.
Society and like African culture is so bad to the boys in regards to gender-based violence, but boys are getting abused. I think I have a friend that is still looking for his marks. We're supposed to graduate with him. This is the time for looking for marks and everything. And this lady refused to give him marks since year 2, and we went up to year 4, and this guy has not gotten his marks. The conversation is not clear. The lady has not come out to ask for what he wants, but you see, if the conversation is happening, you can always know the direction.
There
that
might be
going
some
to.
sort of exchange.
Yeah. That things happen, but this guy cannot come out to say it. So he tells us because we are friends to him, and you can't even advise him that do you think we should do this and this? He cannot stand
He can't
that
come out
ground.
and talk
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
So, but then in that angle, how would we best educate these boys about it? Because the few friends I've had, or the other stories I've had through Bakalis and that, and this boy can get, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to call it rape, but they get assaulted by an older woman in a position of power, right? But in this boy's mindset, he's the one who's having the win. I think that's why this one
Yes,
believes
that's why
that,
he's saying
right?
that men cannot get
Exactly, because now
sexually
for
assaulted.
him in his head, that boy is going to be there and he's like, man, I knock the nuns.
I know
Right?
this is the problem. Society has normalized violence. Call it physical violence. That is why you see women have been suffering for a long time, because it was normal for them. A man beating them, they think the man loves them. A girl getting married at 17, a girl getting married at 15, they think that is okay because they have normalized it that way.
But also they've seen it happen.
Yes, they've seen it happen, so they think it is okay to happen anyways. But that is the bad thing, and I think this is why a lot of programs these days should really focus on the boy child. That boys think these things are normal. They think because they have gotten a mama that is about 50 something, it is a win on their side, And I think that's
As in,
really,
we have not
really
gotten
a
anyone. Look at
bad
this
thing.
guy.
Okay, even if, but as long as it is a woman that you think you have not pursued on your own, to say that I love this woman, to be with her and have whatever that I want to have with her, then it becomes bad in that regard that you are getting assaulted, but for you, you're taking it as, it is normal, it is a win on your end because
Stockholm syndrome. You're going back to your abuser.
like, because African society has made it look like it is normal to happen. The boy can always stand out and speak for themselves, but men these days do not do that. They just some of them are actually living with a lot of pain, and they cannot come out because society has made it look like it is normal, but they have also normalized it themselves. Yeah.
To look at it, there's the video that was put up on the MEMPROW website on the channel for YouTube. There's a particular one I was watching through, a line that stuck with me that went, boys learn through observation, right? And the context of it was catcalling, right? In the video, it goes on to show that once a boy observes this particular behavior, they get it accustomed, right? Now, to put it like you've mentioned, in African society, beating women was a sign of love, demand for respect, and all of those things, right? So, how do we tell those, I don't know what to call it, how do we brainwash them to get it out of them? Because very many boys out there be there thinking that if a woman talks back to me, slap, right? And also catcalling. I feel like at some point I had a conversation with a guest. The name has skipped my mind.
Yeah.
And it was about catcalling, right? And she was of the say that when I get catcalled, now I'm using her words, yes? When I get catcalled by a person that I want to be, right? Now this is given in the scenario of a female walks by a group of boys, right? And then there's one who captures her eye. The said specimen who has captured her eye compliments her, right? But then that in an actual sense is a catcall, yes? And then the fellows also contribute to the given catcall. But she was of the say that she only acknowledges a catcall as a compliment from the one she appreciates. And from the others, it is a catcall, which is disrespectful.
It's abuse now.
What
Becomes abuse.
is the line drawn? Where is it catcalling and where is
When
it
is it a compliment? When is it
a catcall?
a catcall?
I think just from like that lady's view, a catcall is only a compliment when it's from the person that you think values you, from the person. And there's a way it also happens. There is this way they say, there is also a way that someone that really means or tries to compliment you would say it. There's one that is calling you out because you're putting on a tight pant or a tight dress. But there's one that is calling you to show you that you're actually smart, that you're actually that confident woman that they are seeing. Like, there's a way it sounds, the tones are different. If someone woke up and said, okay, and another one said, okay, you see, like, there's a difference between those two. They are all okay, but the way they say it, the intonation is different, and it means totally different things. So the intonation of that person that is catcalling is what matters. But also the place that they are doing that, and at the point that they are doing it, and how you appear at that point is what, it's solely on an individual and how they would want to define it. But most catcallings usually are bad. Yeah.
And then how about these girls that
And
go
unfortunately, they have all been normalized.
Yeah.
How about the people who go into actively pursue catcalls? In high school, I'm not proud of this because I think by then we were dumb, yeah? Usually would stand somewhere as a group of boys. And like the Form 6 girls knew that at a particular hour or time, I think it was like 6:30 there, would like get a corridor, then we sit there, we stand, and we're in casual conversations. But occasionally,
the recorders don't part of it.
Carry on, bro.
You guys are all these. Okay.
Go under your bus
You're on
alone.
your own.
Okay, tell us what
Throw
you
yourself
did.
under your own
Okay,
bus.
tell us, say it.
So, like, a few girls, like, I think it got to a pattern where I would occasionally do it because it was more or less after evening tea, right? So what I do there waiting for preps to begin. And girls would pass and someone would dish out a compliment or something, right? And you'd clearly tell that this girl was uncomfortable, right? Some of them were uncomfortable. And the ones who understood that at this time, this particular group of idiots were standing here, they'd use a different route. They'd never pass there. Then there are these ones who would deliberately choose
to pass there.
Because they wanted, I'm not sure if it was to get attention or wanted to get catcalled. But then whenever someone threw a compliment, my apologies, they threw an insult. Comment that wasn't to their particular liking. It would turn into a catcall. You guys are abusive, you guys are this. Because at a point while this was going on, I tried to pay attention more or less to the girls, right? This girl would first pass the first time, and someone throws a compliment. Now maybe like that's like a Mandy, right? She goes. The next time this particular girl passes again, but then this time it's an insult, or it's something less, almost demeaning. And then that's when she would acknowledge, I'm getting abused, I'm doing this, those boys are bad. How do I navigate that? Like, that's why I wanted to know when is it a catcall and when is it not? Because the confusion there of someone wanting to get catcalled and not wanting to get catcalled is one of, I think, the very perpetual factors as to this. Because if I know that if I use the derogative term, it's wrong. But if I compliment you and you do it again and again and again, doesn't that facilitate me continuing this behavior that should not be there?
I'm struggling with what exactly to ask, but I'll say. You said it's a period between when you're preparing for preps after evening tea, and is that route meant for only the boys?
No,
I'm just trying to do a reflection on the part that
the boys
first pass,
and then she
comes back. What if she has forgotten something? May coming back doesn't mean.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of urgency.
Doesn't mean that I
it doesn't mean that I like what you're doing. What if I was dropping books and now I'm going to the washrooms? I mean, it's not a time. That is just a path I'm supposed to be going.
And you guys have intentionally sat on that path.
You
do
are the
that.
one with bad intentions,
Yes.
actually.
So at the time you throw a compliment, you're waiting for this girl to say something bad so that you now throw the insults.
And some girls, by they keep quiet.
But I think if I were in that school, I would be a bully. I would bully those guys in that corridor. Yeah.
Now,
I
counter
pass and
aggression
come
towards
back,
men
yes.
is harsh.
It is harsh,
It
but
can
I would try
crush
to
you.
do it.
It can crush you because you
It
see,
does, and it does emotionally, but at one point I would.
but it would
Yeah.
crush you because you see, when you pursue that road, you might end up hearing or listening to things you might not,
Want
even falsities that will get to you. So, okay.
There's
Me,
also me passing there and you're throwing words and I'm not hearing.
yeah, there is
And
that as well.
I'll not say anything about it. I'll not answer, but also I've intentionally refused to hear what people said. But I'll still use that route many times.
So
you guys are the ones that were wrong. Intentionally sat there to either throw compliments or to throw insults.
but he has changed since then.
Good boy.
Yeah, he's a different man now. He's a different man.
So the girl passing and you say that she's looking for them, maybe she would have passed comfortably if you
But
were
let's also
there.
not ignore the fact that
Maybe I need to
there
ask
are some-
Jonah, if that was done to your sister, how would you have felt? If one of those girls who was going through that was your sister.
And by the way, those compliments sometimes are not even like compliments.
They are not.
They are not.
Many times they are not actually compliments, as they call them.
They sound like compliments, but there is a hidden thing in them. These guys are body shaming you, but they are trying to make it look like a compliment.
Okay, I really need to ask, if men make comments about a woman that come off as lasty, do they pass as compliments?
That's body shaming.
Because you find it is until you're actually having conversations with girls as a male that you realize that a big bum means something. Even amongst girls, it can be an issue in the pecking order within the group. It can land you somewhere on the rank of friends in the group. So if that is the case within the girls, because do we acknowledge that's a thing, that's a dynamic in girl friendships, body, looks, and everything. So if that is a case within, then what happens when someone is getting outside affirmation from out of the group, but from the public? Does that now qualify as a compliment?
No, it's not. I would prefer to have compliments from someone that I'm comfortable with. If I'm comfortable with Jonathan, I would take what they say as a compliment. But at the time when Chelsea, comes and is telling me something, it makes me uncomfortable. That's why I told you at one point that it is body shaming.
It's just like the way you and Sharon were making fun earlier.
Yes.
You're you're the shortest person.
If I come and tell
Imagine
Sharon that
if
she's
you
short, it
you
is
just
normal.
came today and you're like,
Melody, you're so short. Like,
how? How?
Like,
how? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
If I went to Xavier, I told him that you're so tall. Like, I've seen him before. We have had this conversation. Like, it is normal. But I have seen you today and you're telling me I'm short. I have big something. Really?
That's weird.
It's body shaming.
Body shaming.
Okay. What would be the proper course of action in case of a catcall? Because we came to a consensus that you trying to take the fire out with more fire makes everyone burnt, right? What would be the right code of action to do in case I get catcalled? Because
get catcalled?
I have been catcalled before.
I love you, brother. I love you.
Okay, I think
I don't know.
I think the best response to catcalling and how to do away with, one, we need to look at the victim of catcalling, but importantly,
Don't look at me.
You're the victim. You've been catcalled.
but also importantly, who are the people doing the catcalling? Because those guys, even if you try to handle Jonathan that was catcalled, that will not be enough. The guys in the corridor will still stay there. So you want to go and see these guys in the corridor and show them how uncomfortable it is when they passed and you showed them that you're too short, you have a small bum or you have a very big bum like for girls. And show them how uncomfortable it is, like in a therapeutical way, not in a backfiring way, and show them that actually this is bad and this is how you can try to do away with it. But also try to help Jonathan get back to his feet as as a person that has his esteem as a person and is still comfortable to walk past people or past those boys in the corridor? Or can those boys get out of those corridors and, you know, be at places that don't make these girls uncomfortable when they pass? Yeah.
And for me, I'm taking you back to the community where I am. Some of these things, when they happen and you feel like you're not able to have a conversation with that person, then it's better you get another person who can have like a conversation.
Someone with much more leverage over that person.
Yes, to go and tell that person, because then it's not comfortable at all, like we all agreed.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable. So
I wanted to ask you a question, but I think I want to take it back. But let me ask, what's the worst form of catcalling you've experienced as a man? As a masculine man. What's the worst form of catcalling?
What are the forms of catcalling?
No, I say, okay, what's the worst
What's
scenario?
that small word or some
Okay, what's something
someone
that's very
said?
common in your catcalling? Because now, if it's a big bamboo band, they're obviously going to be pointing that out, and it's going to irritate her. So you, what's yours? What's the common one?
I feel like everyone gets very creative at a point. I had a group of girls who always wanted to touch my bum.
Stop it! Stop it!
I am pissed.
If you're
For
out
him.
there, we do not condone such behavior. Rolling this into something much more fruit bearing, what do you guys think are the ideal solutions? Because at least at the core of our hearts, in all the awareness that is going on about this whole thing in this period, I think we've all come to a point where we believe this might work. Like, what's that one solution you all have? I already shared mine with you guys earlier on and you bashed it. But me, I believe we should have sex offender lists. And we should have an app or a website that's accessible for the entire country. That when you go to one area, maybe you're new with your family, go to the website, check this person, maybe 2 blocks away, this person, when you take the corner, that particular address, there might be or there is someone that has a criminal record of something, of an offense that's much more leaning towards either abuse, domestic abuse, or sexual abuse.
Or anything.
Yeah. For me, that's mine.
I have a name for your app.
Yeah.
Facebook.
No, Facebook doesn't work. Do you know why Facebook doesn't work? It's because it's a messaging app.
Yeah.
So it creates distraction.
So the other
So you're going to try and find out, like, bro, Wama, is it true? Like, but
okay, I think that is a good thing, but it just has like a bit of potholes. Uganda is getting digital, but very few people can access those digital systems. If you go to West Nile, I've been to West Nile several times under MEMPROW and other organizations. Very few people know about technology.
Yes.
Very few people even have that small button phone. And yet they are the biggest, or they have the highest number of victims for these kinds of violence. So at a time when we do that, maybe we are trying to cater for the urban population, and we are most likely leaving out the population that is at the highest risk. Yeah. So in my opinion, the biggest thing for us to do away with this is a lot of engagement, for people to get away with this, kind of violence mentality. That I know I have done a crime in regards to violence, but can I get out of that crime and, you know, be a better person? But also, we do not do away with the legal part. The law has to hold these individuals accountable. If you have done anything to do with maybe child something, labor, child sex, and things like that, please go and serve your term. Maybe we know prison is not entirely just to have you confined there, but also is a form like of rehabilitation. Can we have these individuals be accountable for whatever crime they have done, so that maybe society can say that we have done away with this person for 5 years, and then by the time they come back, they are a changed person, you know? But also, can we continue sensitizing society so that people who have not engaged in these crimes do not normalize them? So that someone who wakes up and sees that there is catcalling somewhere says that this is bad. What if I were the one getting catcalled? If someone wanted to rape someone, they think about the consequences of rape. Also, I think government has a role in making sure that, these criminals are like sort of, there's like bigger penalty for them. The system is so bad that someone does a crime today in regards to violence, but they just try to live with it anyways. This guy will just go to court and he even wins the case, yet there's like solid evidence to show that this guy actually assaulted a 15-year-old. I think there have been a lot of cases, but most of them have been silenced. So like the law and the system that is trying to protect individuals from violence is very important to look at. But lastly, I think societies need to be changed. Societies need to be looked at from the angle of not the African setting. I do not think I can be in a family that physically assaults me, emotionally assaults me. But you know what we have normalized in Africa is like the physical violence. People just take it normal. But if someone tries to beat me, I cannot even be there for 2 seconds. Like from my P1, no one would beat me. If you try to beat me, I would jump on the roof. So if you try to beat me right now, I don't know if you would succeed. So I think society needs to do away with some of these things that they had from long ago, that people should be beaten. A woman is supposed to submit to sex, even when she's married. There is something they call marital rape. I think she knows about it. That someone gets raped because they are in marriage, but because they are married, so you think they are supposed to have sex with you every day. I think those are things that need to be addressed, and in the African setting, that people need to do away with entirely. And that people can live a better society after that. People can enjoy the communities they are living in, regardless of being African. I think there are a lot of African things that exist that we need to do away with, and maybe embrace a little bit of like modern things that try to protect everyone in that regard. Yeah.
So you're trying to say that there should be more or less an Africanization of the approach?
We can, yes, a less Africanized approach to
less
violence.
Africanized?
Yes, to approach to sexual violence, to violence entirely. Because if you notice, most things to do with violence stem from the African way. Men should not speak up. Women should submit and have sex every time. Things like that. Those are things that are not normal. But if you look at the way violence used to happen, it was normal back then. But from an empowered point of view, that's the only way we can try to have a better society, to end violence in every direction. Yeah.
Wow. Yes. So I think we need to move away from protecting the perpetrators in particular. And like earlier, we spoke about families keeping quiet, and yeah. So we need to move away from that and avoid negotiations mainly, because many times people are being abused, but they are somehow, somewhere, they get stuck because negotiations somehow happened. Like people sit at the back under some tree, discuss things that you even didn't like maybe agree to, but somehow they come and they say,
make binding conclusions.
Yes, they come and say, okay, now we have agreed. They even come and inform you and they say, we have agreed, he's not going to do. They come and the society comes and apologizes on his behalf, on the perpetrator's behalf. It's not going to happen again, because the truth is, the moment we keep smearing that and covering up for them, we're exposing more people to this
abuse.
To abuse and violences. Because the moment someone does not pay for their crime, if they go in court and win, the truth is they will go back and continue with what they were doing. Yeah.
Before.
We've had a case in Nebi that has been running, whereby someone who has been masquerading as a medical practitioner has been sexually abusing many of his clients, patients.
Reminds me of a documentary called Our Father.
So, and the first time he was arrested, he came out of prison, and then again, it has happened again, like 2 months ago, he has again been arrested. And I'm thinking, okay, why did they even release him? No, why did they release him in the first place? What happened? Like, it felt like the punishment they gave him was not like heavy enough. But also that takes us back to that list that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, there are some institutions that should not tolerate hiring persons who are violators.
With that
because the
code.
truth is, if this one, being a medical practitioner and you're a violator, That, do you
Being
know what
a
that
teacher
means?
and you have
are
kids
a
around.
teacher. Yes, you have kids around, kids who are
You
vulnerable.
have a history of sexual assault
Yes,
somewhere.
yes. That means our kids are not safe, and you cannot be with them.
You cannot
We
for
can't
any other
trust.
profession to
Yes,
do, you know.
there are some professions that should not be for those ones who
Oh.
might appear on that list you're talking about, because then that's the only way we'll create a safe environment for all of us to thrive. Yeah.
As a closer, there's something that, again, now, see, it's the first time that we're interacting with an organization that is like this. So I have my bag of questions that I'm digging into. So while we're having a conversation with a friend sometime, we were of the say that at a point, we are the facilitators of these given harassment of sorts, right? Take an example of we're going out, right? And then this girl wears a very short dress, see-through, right? To a club.
Mm.
She goes there and then someone grabs her or does something, right? But she was of the know that there are dogs out there, right? Men who claim not to have self-control and rely on the fact that I am a man, I can't do this, right? Do you believe that some of these victims for gender-based violence are the perpetuators? Perpetrators, right? For these things. Like, do they bring it upon themselves? Because, walk with me here. Take an example of, let me do like a parallel, right? If I'm going to walk down to, what can I say? Machindi, right? Down to Pambazon and the like, no offense. And I'm in the know of that there are thieves down there. And I walk with my phone in hand, right? I am walking, I am typing, and I'm doing all of these things. I calling these thieves? I alerting them to know that I have this?
Those are two different things.
Yes, that is exactly what I wanted to say.
Listen, let me land. I said parallels. Now, to draw it back
That's a
into
bad
this,
parallel because they stole my phone. I know what you're doing.
I
know
also
what
lost
you're
my
doing.
phone, and it's not like I was holding it in hands for someone to snatch it.
No, now exactly. That's what's going to make my point land, right? Because there are these people whose phones are actually kept, right? And someone comes and steals your phone.
Anyway, they're not going to steal your phone if it's in your pocket still.
No, chances
What
it might
would
happen.
have-
For contrast,
Yeah.
there's a guy who was actually caught stealing in town, right?
Mm.
The nigga shouted very fast. He's like, but man, if you are not removing that sum of money from your pocket, I will not have stolen. You get?
So, in
Yeah,
this sense,
that's our producer. He has been touched.
in this sense, right? Someone who has kept their phone in their pocket is going to be on a much safer side of getting robbed than someone who's going to walk with their gadget in hand. Now, the reason why I drew this parallel is back to the women, right? If a woman is well aware that there are men out there who claim they can't control themselves, who lack the self-discipline to hold their hands
That's why
to
you
themselves.
like self-control.
I'm a very big practitioner of self-control. Okay, I believe in self-control as me.
There's a Buddhist.
You see, me, I feel like you're just giving an excuse for perpetrators.
No.
Which is not fair on
I'm
the
being
victims.
cut off in
Okay.
between my extension of this, right? So this woman is going to go out in this dress, right? I'm not saying that she isn't allowed to wear what she wants. By all means, please do. But in the knowledge of there are men who are going to use this as an excuse, aren't you using it to get, like, isn't that a reason as to why they're going to come to you?
Jonathan,
That is not reason enough.
Jonathan, one, we cannot use comparison of your phone getting stolen in Kampala. The last time I lost my phone, I was in a private car. Guy opened the car and took the phone. But two, sexual violence and whatever kind of violence is totally different from you getting stolen. Like in Kampala, for God's sake, we know someone will snatch your phone. The first time they wanted to steal my phone, I actually got the thief. The guy grabbed it from my pocket. I was in town walking. Like, I think I'll give you the story off camera. But regardless of what the girl is putting on, she put on that dress to feel comfortable, to feel fine.
Yes.
And you said the girl is going to a club. What do you want her to put on? Ego Messi? No. That is the answer I would give. She's trying to be comfortable and fit in the environment that she wants to be in. So at a time when you think because she is dressed like that and because you lack self-control as a person and you want to take it as an advantage,
That is
then
already
your
a problem. That's already the
Just that.
problem.
But don't we have to have the room to acknowledge the fact that not all men out there have pure intention? That yes, there are actually predators out there. So what do you do when you understand that there are predators out there? Protect yourself.
True.
That's what we're trying to say. That
But
I feel
even
like
at the time you want to protect yourself, I think what I had said earlier, it was like my closing submission, but you guys are triggering me to say this thing. Like, can we have men engage in conversations that try to make sure that they live a better society, that they live as better individuals, and try to do away with these things that they have normalized? I think MEMPROW is a very open place to everyone, and I would call everyone to really engage with MEMPROW. Even if you're a boy and you have an issue in regards to violence, especially, kindly reach out to MEMPROW on our X. I think we have an email as well. You can always reach out to MEMPROW. Just go to your X and type in at MEMPROW Uganda. Trust me, you're going to find it. And anytime you send a message, you're most likely going to get a response as fast as you can. I'm going to share the WhatsApp of MEMPROW very soon, or even where you can always call.
we'll add it in our description of the video.
So it's very, very important that you reach out and get protected. But also as someone that is trying to perpetuate, like, for God's sake, have some conscience before you try to do things that you think are going to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
You will touch this girl's bum in a club, she will take you for assault, and they're going to arrest you. And it means it is you that is now going to suffer. You have lost your job, you have lost your life, you're getting arrested for 2 years because the girl has taken you there.
You will mark time for all the period you're paying for the crime you committed.
Or maybe she
One
needs
motion.
like cash compensation. And you're putting it, like, I think every time we're going to do something, we need to
Have
like,
a reflection.
Yeah, have a reflection. What is going to happen?
What is the worst that can come out of what I am about to
Especially the
do?
worst.
What is the worst?
You guys, me, I fear jail.
If
And
I
I
rape
fear
this
having
girl,
someone that I fear knowing someone that is in jail. If I have a friend and they are getting arrested, I feel like I am dead. Like, I feel like my entire brain is gone. So I usually tell my friends, please think about the consequences of things you're going to do. I have a friend that is so bad, like he's dating girl A, B, C, D. Bro, you're going to get problems with those girls one day. Okay, he doesn't listen, but I hope he listens one day.
Mine is
No, it can't be
going to
Jonathan.
start listening.
So, like,
Now that you've
like you
talked
have
about
to
it.
think about the consequences of these things, like, every time you're going to do it. If you're a man and you see this girl in a skimpy dress, she didn't even know she was going to find you at that club. Maybe she went with a friend. She had gone to chill with a friend, and for you see advantage that she's in a dress, skimpy dress.
You see, this takes us back to men who go and rape their wives after they have reached home. They will say, "I was drunk." I was drunk.
Alcohol is another myth.
How many people did they
use for
pass
sexual
from
violence.
where they drank? How many people did they pass? How many houses did they pass to enter and
Why
perform
did
the
you-
act
why
inside
did you
there?
have the conscience to reach home?
Why didn't you do it? Okay, some of them even are in their family homes. Why didn't you enter your mother's house? Okay.
And ask your mother. We are not saying they ask their mothers.
You intentionally doing it. Actually, that hidden intention is what will put
Why
you in
did your
trouble.
conscience make you sleep by the roadside, but it brought you home?
Up to home.
And you're saying your conscience cannot make you say that this woman doesn't want to sleep with me today.
Yeah.
Right.
So there is no excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, that has been quite the throbbing for us to understand these things. Yeah. And thank you very much. Thank you so much, because we've had plenty of backs and forths about this with various people. And slowly we'll even the scores, because it's a learning process. And for us men, most times, some of these things we are not aware of. Some of these things we've grown up watching, so we do not know that they are that bad as we are now learning that they are. So it's important that we have these conversations. So as we are closing out, do you people want to close with anything that you want to let the world know about the cause that you people have taken as individuals and as MEMPROW girls?
Okay, for me, just to conclude, I think I've said most things in the interaction. Importantly, do not suffer with violence. Call it sexual violence, physical violence, emotional violence, or anything. There are very many organizations that are out there and are ready to help everyone that is suffering with any kind of sexual violence. But also we have the police, even when people say it's not as reliable as it should be, I'm sure there is something that they can always do. But importantly, look out for organizations. For MEMPROW, we are always here to serve everyone that is suffering any kind of violence. Like I said earlier, you can reach us through our X. We have an X page called at MEMPROW Uganda. We have a page of MEMPROW Girls Network. Even if you're a boy, please do not fear to reach out. We have a WhatsApp number that is 0761 848408. Again, 0761 848408. You can always send us a WhatsApp. You can always reach out in case there is a problem, and people will most likely help you. Please do not suffer alone, whether you're a boy or a girl.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So what I can say as we conclude is violence is real, and all of us are candidates to being violated. So I'll encourage that every time you're faced with violence, you need to speak about it, because when you speak about it, that person keeps themselves in check. The moment you keep quiet, it's like you encouraging them to keep on violating other people. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I remain Chelsea alongside
Jaffa?
and this podcast has been in partnership with MEMPROW Uganda, sustaining women's leadership.